You know, Dave, I missed you over here at the Jägermeister workbench.
I was at the John Boy Auditorium. Good night, Lauren. That's where I was at.
I like that. I didn't catch you on the Waltons. Beautiful. Hey, let's talk about AJs, man. We're talking about a fish that can put
you know, the AJ is a very strong-bodied fish, and he can pull really hard. We've heard all the, you know, the little nicknames, reef donkey and whatnot. So this is not the fish that you take the kids out to try to catch right off the bat, or grannies like me. You know, I don't care if you catch them either. The very last one I caught weighed about 90 pounds off of Key West in 400 feet of water. And yeah, it was on a submarine, that old submarine wreck out there. And the second one I hooked, I told him, oh, I'm hooked up on the bottom, knowing full well that I wasn't, and handed it to the mate. And he goes, oh, no, you're on the bottom. I go, no, you're on the bottom. And it went back and forth, and I didn't want to have anything more to do with him. We caught, that was back before the commercial guys really hit him hard, and there for a while, it was easy to catch 100-pound amberjacks. Right. Now they're a little harder to catch them that big. They do get up to 180 pounds, though, in Florida waters. So you can catch a great big one if you get lucky. And that's going to be a female. All the female fish get great big. They're the ones that get bigger. They can live up to like 15 years. The males rarely exceed 5 years and probably 50 or 60 pounds. They don't get as big. Just like most chicks, they blow up when they get older. I don't know what that is. But anyway, if you're going to be fishing for these things, you're going to catch quite a few of them on the bottom, right. You know. But I like to fish for them on the top. So once you get over a good wreck and you're marking them, I like to throw a lot of chum out and get them to come to the top. And once you get them to come to the top, you break out a great big spinning reel with a jig or a popper on it. And this is, you know, this is a Williamson popper. These are, you know, huge, super triple strength treble hooks with giant split rings, just like Jeffrey was saying. You gotta have a really good strong stuff. And all these hooks that I have up here, if you notice, they're all big fat hooks. Because if you're going to be using the kind of drag that's going to take to catch an 80-pound amberjack, you know, you're probably going to be using 20 pounds of drag, and you know, your hook has to hang on to that much weight for a long time. And the hardest part is to get yourself to hold on to that much drag. Most people can't hold that much drag. So you're gonna, you know, a good fiberglass spinning rod, you know, for once they get up close to the top of the water, is the perfect way to go, because you got to be able to cast your plugs and your jigs. You know, I like to also, you know, use the big heavy benthos jigs from Williamson or Shimano. That's a little wax wing jig for when they're close to Shimano, for when they're closer up to the surface. Also, you know, usually if you're not looking for amberjacks, right, your first idea that there's amberjacks around is when you're reeling up a small bottom fish and it gets eaten. Right. And that's usually your first clue. Okay, there's amberjacks here. And if you're going to be using a live bait, you know, or a big dead bait, I like to use a big ladyfish on a jig head. If you're really trying to catch amberjacks, and so you just
take that big hook up,
put a big hook up jig, any jig actually, but put it right through his head. Actually, I would have put it back further, but just tear him all to pieces.
Oh boy.
Well, put it right. Woo, that hurt. Put it through the top of his head. Anyway.
He's out of practice.
Exactly. But that thing flopping around down there on a jig, something's going to pile on it just like a live bait. And if you want to use a big pin fish for a live bait, you use a circle hook. Right. Especially because, you know, these fish have great big mouths. They're not that great to eat. A lot of people will argue with me and tell me, oh, they're great to eat. And if you grill them right when you catch them, they're fairly decent to eat. You got to make sure you get all the worms out near the tail section. The bigger the fish, the more likelihood that they will have worms in their tail, usually concentrated towards the rear of the fish, tail end. Cut those worms out. They really can't hurt you, but a lot of people just don't like to see that. They're really good on the grill. They're really great smoked, and they make really good dip. I like amberjack as fish dip better than anything, better than grilled or anything else.
Well, you can go ahead and wash your hands.
No. Right.
Oh, God.